In February 2025, Audio-Technica teamed up with the Vinyl Alliance to make a vinyl record over 2 days in a continuous flowing form. Let's dive in and see what's involved to take this to this.
My name is Russell Elevado. I'm a producer and engineer and all-around analog warrior. Started officially engineering in 1990-91. I've worked with a lot of cool artists over my career. D'Angelo's, Alicia Keys, Kamasi Washington, and a lot more. Today we will be recording a song from start to finish. Then I will be mixing it. That mix will then go to our brand new fully restored lathe. And then that will go to the pressing plant. Really exciting and quite a challenge to do everything all in one day. This never happens. I don't even think anybody's ever done that since the 30s, 40s, 50s of recording.
Part 1. Tracking. The first part of making a record is recording the music.
Any classical parents would be so disappointed to see this.
Ahead of this, the musicians will have written, rehearsed, and sometimes even made demo recordings of the track they are about to record. The musician work with the recording engineer to establish a style and sound, and to select which recording method and microphone will best achieve this. For this recording session, we decided to go all analog and record to tape, so there is an extra process when setting up the recording tapes.
My name is Erik Breuer. I run the Analogue Foundation Berlin. This studio is pretty unique nowadays because we still use a lot of analog equipment, including tape machines, so we can still work on a full analog workflow and do this on a regular basis. Today we have a bunch of really amazing local musicians in. I think some of the best currently working here in Berlin. And they've never really worked together as a band like this before. The setup for a session like this is we're limited to the 24-track tape machine, so everything has to fit onto this, which also makes you put less mics on the drums, commit more to a certain sound and everything, which makes the whole thing unique.
Each microphone has its own dedicated track on the recording tape. Once everything is set up and tested, we are ready to record. When recording analog, the musician will try and capture everything in the live takes, as going back and editing later is a physical process.
The difference between recording to tape with musicians, you only have the one chance to do it. There's no going back, so there's no undo button. So for the musicians, I think they realize that they really have to perform their best.
When recording digitally, this is much easier to do, but it can mean the recording loses the energy of the performance. We will do as many takes as required until both the musicians and the engineer are happy.
Do you guys know what I mean? It needs to feel a bit heavy, not light at all. Shall we roll one more? Yeah.
My name is Franka and I'm a musician, keyboard player. The song we're performing today is called Again, and I wrote it like 2.5 years ago. You know, with pieces sometimes I feel like they're searching for a long time to find the right spot, and with the energy that this group had, I had a feeling right away that this could be a setting for this tune, really.
My name is Szabolcs Bognár, Szabi, also known as Abashi, and I produce music, I write music, and I play keyboards. Today felt honestly great because it was kind of a celebration for us. After days of preparation, today we knew exactly what we are doing and we were confident in the song as well.
My name is Peter Eldh. I'm the bass player of this project. It's been great. I think everyone that has been part of this project brought their own beautiful energy. It's so easy to work with everyone. And locking in with Silvan, absolutely amazing. It's been a great experience, this whole thing.
Franka told us the story behind the track that makes it even more special. That is about the feeling of falling in love and feeling like a child again.
The vocalist on this track has been the incredible Meron. Incredible human being, such a nice vocalist. It was completely insane to me how well Meron adapted the energy that the spirit of the song has and really gave his soul into this. The moment that we were in the mixing room for the first time, having the actual track on, I think for everyone was just amazing.
Part 2. Mixing and mastering. When the raw recording is finished, it is up to the mixing engineer to arrange the tracks into a perfect balance. It is at this point that any additional effects, like reverb, compression, and EQ are added to perfectly blend the recording.
The magic of mixing, to me, it's a real art. Once you really got your thing going and you're a really good mixer, I think you become the silent member of the band.
Working with Russ, he has a specific energy to him that I think is just so inspiring. I heard him do not the most complex stuff I've ever heard, just like putting on a reverb, doing a little low cut here, and it's always the cleanest, best choice to really bring the music to life.
How do I know when it's done? A lot of times it's just a feeling. And I try to get that feeling by the end of the mix where I'm starting not to think about anything technical and just feeling in my gut that it's feeling good. And also when I close my eyes, there's a certain thing that happens inside my head. And it's almost as if the room is huge. I could be listening really low too. But suddenly the music is just huge in my head. I can't even explain it, but yeah, I definitely get it to a point where these things start to happen inside me.
Once the engineer, producer, and band are happy with how the mix sounds, it gets recorded onto the master tape.
This week, and the chemistry is there. It's like amazing.
Part 3. Cutting. It is at this point that the process becomes unique to vinyl. Firstly, the master tapes are transferred into the mastering studio.
So after we're done mixing the track, that mix also gets transferred back onto another tape machine, the stereo tape machine, and this tape then gets cut onto the lacquer. Editing and splicing the tape together is always really fun, but also especially after long days and nights like this, can be quite nerve-wracking because it's really like you're splicing the tape, you're putting little parts of tape aside, putting it back in, and you can't really do any mistakes.
Several audio processes must take place to make the music fit onto a record. The record is cut by a cutting stylus into a lacquer. The lacquer is an aluminum disc covered with a nitrocellulose coating, a bit like nail varnish.
Cutting the lacquer is a really delicate process. You want to get as much level out of the record as possible, at the same time a little bit too much, or do anything from making the record skip to even ruining your cutting head. So you're always riding this really fine balance of getting the most out of the machine as possible, but on the other hand, making sure the sound is pure and clean.
So this is actually the first time that something that I composed will be pressed onto vinyl. Like the last step of this journey being at Optimal to actually seeing the vinyls being pressed is such an incredible honor.
My name is Thorsten Mego and I'm the quality manager of Optimal. And I've been with Optimal from day one. In the time I've been here, I've seen the CDs evolving, I've seen the development of DVD, of Blu-ray, and the resurgence of vinyl. And then we really upgraded for the capacity of almost 40 million records a year. And that makes us one of the biggest manufacturers in the world.
Part 4. Galvanics. The galvanics, or electroplating process, is where the delicate lacquer is used to make the hard metal parts required for the vinyl manufacturing process. The lacquer is first sprayed with the thin layer of silver. The silver coating makes the lacquer conductive, which allows a chemical bond for nickel to grow when it is placed in the galvanic bath. Once the process is finished, a reverse of the groove has been created in nickel. This is what is called the father. The father then put through the same process to make the mother, which is a metal copy of the lacquer. From the mother, you can make multiple copies of the stamper, which is the reverse groove plate that attaches to the machinery and presses the record.
Wow, man, what a crazy facility. Nobody ever gets to see that, so I'm super happy to have been there.
Then at Optimal, this moment where you can first listen to the mother and seeing the needle drop onto the vinyl, and you actually realize we just played that. Like, this music was literally just played and it's on vinyl now. This is crazy to think about this.
Very surreal to me because I've never pressed a record and gone to the plant in 24 hours of recording. And to hear that needle drop there and we were listening to the final product, it was just blew me away.
Part 5. Printing. The final step before pressing is printing the artwork for the record. The center label is pressed directly into the record. No glue is required. At this point, the cover artwork and any inserts are printed and constructed for packing the finished record. Part 6. Pressing. The stamper is fitted to the vinyl press. The label and the malleable PVC compounds are placed in the press. The press is then engaged and out comes a vinyl record. The record needs to be trimmed of any excess and cooled before it goes to be packaged.
The last step of this journey, actually seeing the vinyls being pressed, it really gives me the feeling of being part of the whole process, which is a very special experience. When I first had it in my hands, I remember just like looking at it. There was still talking and like social things happening, but I completely zoned out and just looked at this vinyl. Uncomparable, I gotta say.
Part 7. Listening. The final part of the process is listening to the record. In a full release, there will be a test pressing given to the artist and engineer to check. Once this is approved, the full run of record will be pressed. And then the final process is to put it on the turntable and enjoy.
And I'm feeling like a child, feeling like a child, feeling like a child.
When we were listening at the bar, I was like getting emotional because we had just finished it. Nobody really gets to do that, to record and in one day mix it and then have this instant gratification of hearing it from a record at the bar that we have. You know, that's just incredible.
Listening to it all together feels so raw, so pure, so magical. This has been a fever dream, to be honest.
I was so happy to work with Franka. She's a true talent, and we'll be making more music together for sure. So I was so proud.
And I'm feeling like a child, feeling like a child, feeling like a child again. I think maybe I'm in love, maybe I'm in love. And I'm feeling like a child, feeling like a child, feeling like a child again. I think maybe I'm in love, maybe I'm in love again.